And we having businessmen will complain. Ila kulun kanale fu banjol. Ibuka jino ebuka la bagaso jin. They turn back. They katafen gold drop in Senegal. Gambia bagaso kajisena. Omasi bolet.
Dr. Ture contributed immensely to the failure of Adam Barrow regime from 2017 to 2020.
Manke mola foye ko babu ndok manki it bar community la jero yaje ko wala be tamakan NPP kono.
Yes, ngajale because ya kende fangola I was victimized. Who? The party executive. President ya bulobula among intervene because atele sonta yenna the political campaign.
Baro e munafo moni ning ata hanata ko men ko be jaralale we transport people from Mali, Sierra Leone and other countries but we are going to do it. Pour ka mol transport ni nalana can support for 5 years on mo isia proud.
Bari ita fono la ko ha minister la jodo atale ngati nga minister tal alawan la fa bol membe duma minister patata nyaonya bol membe marché oto jendan jaay o famasol do Sénégal membe bolon kono wolle patata minister ti woton te balafa no la minister e ka fo minister la jodo atale nga balafa wanto director la jodo atale nga balafa.
Yaya has the political power. Yaya has the political popularity in the Gambia. Hanibi molbe lafringalale anu hanibi ala yamaro na futa molka.
Let it be put straight that marriage should be between a man and a woman only if they reach the age of 18 and above, or if they reach maturity, because people could be matured before they reach 18.
So every year, the GFF receives $1 million from FIFA, $500,000 in January, and another $500,000 in July.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching or listening to us from. You are watching the Infobai show on the Gambian Talents TV, brought to you by your host, Usman Juf. It's been a minute, getting in my gist, but I have to come back on air. Yaganalen ko nelen $2 mention no perafle. I love this and would love to do it, but all this while I've been very busy. It's 2023. Happy New Year to everybody that is watching us wherever you are. We are here for a special thing, and this is to talk about the security concerns in the Gambia. Ak linga xamne mo nek di go on suñu deka. Lately, the Gambia has been going through a roller coaster with so many different things happening, from individual citizens, security threats, stealings, armed robberies. I mean, you name it. But on another note, there are also security concerns. As a couple of weeks ago, or in mid-December, we woke up to an alleged coup that was taking place, or that was about to take place, or a coup that was foiled by the armed forces of the Gambia. And of course, the next day, we saw the government spokesperson releasing a statement, and several things followed. A couple of days later, we had that one of the political figures in the country, in the person of Momodou Lamin Faye, was arrested, and detained. He was there for almost a couple of weeks, eventually released a day or two before the New Year's. In the studio with us, Mr. Lamin Faye, here in Seattle, Washington, who has a security background, and we'll be talking to Mr. Faye about the security issues in the Gambia and the whole 9 yards. Welcome to the Gambian Talents TV, Mr. Faye.
Thank you, Mr. Juve, and thank you for having me over.
And first off, I would like to ask you, a lot of people may be surprised seeing Lamin Faye on TV
Right.
talking about security in the Gambia.
Right.
Who is Lamin Faye? And what authority do you have to talk about the security concerns in the Gambia?
Well, Lamin Faye, well, first of all, hello, Gambia. Lamin Faye, well, I studied criminal justice, and I focused on law enforcement, emergency management, and national security crisis and law enforcement crisis, homeland security, and also correction. And also, I'm working alongside of my business, a job that I cannot talk about, basically.
A job you cannot talk about. Are you an FBI agent?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Well, are you an FBI agent?
No,
I cannot have you in my studio. You cannot come here and hide. Are you an FBI agent?
I'm not.
Do you work for the CIA?
No.
Do you work for Homeland Security?
No, I'm not.
I ain't get no papers. How much can you tell us?
No. I cannot tell you. I cannot.
Are you selling our people?
No.
What you do? Tell us the job you do in
Honestly, I cannot talk about it. It's nothing major. It's nothing major, really. It's just my professional job on the side, but it's nothing like that.
Man, how much No. Are you an agent of this?
No.
You're not gonna tell us.
No, I mean, I don't.
But in a nutshell, you studied law enforcement. You focus on law enforcement. You studied criminal justice.
Right.
From where?
So I got my Associate of Applied Science in Criminal Justice from Black Hawk Technical College in Janesville, Wisconsin, and then I went to University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, and then I later transferred to Upper Iowa University, where I obtained my Bachelor's of Science degree in Criminal Justice, and I graduated with honor.
You focus on
law enforcement, emergency management, homeland security, corrections as well, and minor in psychology.
So that gives you the authority then to talk about security lapses, security loopholes, security corrections, security, successes and failures, right?
Yes. As a matter of fact, that's part of my studies.
Okay. Well, a couple of weeks ago, Gambia generally lately has been so insecure, and people are comparing. Just last week, my team in Gambia did a vox pop in which people were comparing Adama Barrow's government and Yahya Jammeh's government. In your view, which government do you think is better, or the Gambia is more secure under the Yahya Jammeh's government or Adama Barrow's government?
Well, on the security part of it, when it comes to the security, peace, and stability of the country, I would say Yahya Jammeh, to be honest.
And how is that so?
Because we all know Yahya Jammeh, but he never compromised with the security and stability of the country. I think the difference between former President Yahya Jammeh and President Barrow is that Yahya Jammeh would make it known to the people that he's not going to compromise the security and stability of the people in the Gambia. Versus Barrow.
So what is happening under Adama Barrow that didn't happen during Yahya Jammeh? That makes you say that Adama Barrow's time, Yahya Jammeh's time was more secure?
Well, our security right now is compromised.
How?
Because our own security personnel of intel, that is, they're being undermined. And when you undermine your people, there is no loyalty. For example, I know people are going to say, well, our neighboring country came to rescue us, to help us out, right? But Nikki, the news ke put ngane cabinet bi, then kunega si cabinet ngane ko si salve. There is one thing that people don't understand in the Gambia. Intelligence gathering is very important. So that gives the people who are in our state house, they might be gathering intel for their country too, while acting like they're helping us. And another thing that our people, our security system do not understand is this. As a security personnel, you just don't look at today, tomorrow. You look at 60 years down from now, our next generation, our kids, right? For example, we might come across natural resources. And if we come across those secrets, and for some reason, the foreign security services who are who are currently occupied in our state house might stumble onto that. What do you think going to happen? They're going to pass the information to their people because their loyalty falls back to their people,
their country, right?
Yes.
Origin. Didn't you actually, Mr. Faye? I was asking you about locally. Gambia League in Paragal. I sit here and people in Seattle tell me, I want to go to Gambia. Do you know any security firm? I want to hire personal bodyguards. I work so hard for my money and I am scared to go to Gambia and flash it and spend it and show what I got. I buy expensive jewelry and stuff for myself and my wife, but we are scared to go. I can hire a security person that will go with me to eat what I eat, hang out with me, and do all the good things just because I want to be safe and secure. People buy their stuff and take it to Gambia, or they're there locally, have businesses, and those businesses get attacked. I mean, locally, people are scared. Even this New Year's, I was having a show right here with my team who were at Westfield, who were at Senegambia, who were at Banjul, and all of them reported to me in some of the semesters they talked to people from the diaspora, told them that just talk here. One of the concerns was traffic, the other one was Pundabi, and but most importantly, security concerns. So security they can be internally. It used to be mostly for them I mean, of course, I mean a lot of people will argue, yes, that was good and bad at the same time. Is that the reason why the country was more secured? Because Yaya Jammeh had, I mean, Isoldar all over on the streets or checkpoints instead of police and stuff, because internal security should be in the hands of police.
That's correct. I think in both government, they both made mistakes in terms of enforcing laws and protecting people and their property. Me personally, a personal friend of mine, like a friend of mine was about to go to Gambia, and he came to me and asked me if I know anyone in the security company in Gambia that provides personal bodyguard because of that. So my security assessment based on that, I mean, we need to change the way we enforce laws because in the Gambia they do reactive enforcement instead of proactive enforcement. And again, that brings me back to national security. National security is not just about the government federally. It also has to do with the people and their properties, right? So by creating a system whereby law enforcement officials would do proactive policing than reactive policing. So reactive policing basically means that you wait till a crime is committed and now you're wondering, oh my God, what are we doing? They need to come up with sting operations. Like here in America, when there's crime in a region, what they do, they will create or come up with sting operation and broadcast that way, because you're trying to get in the criminal's mind that, hey, if I go commit a crime here, it might be a setup. Police might be there, so you are keeping them guessing. So if you don't keep the bad guy guessing and you make them feel comfortable, what do you think is going to happen? If they know our whole security system and law enforcement system is basically is based on reactive enforcement, how are we ever going to solve crime? Another important thing is this: policing, like 99.9% of the time, crimes are solved by people, not law enforcement.
In Gambia, yes.
So even everywhere you go,
justice, right?
Yeah. So what you do, you create a dialogue. You start to do community policing more often by talking to people and asking them, and create patrol vehicles. And you train officers whereby they can actually pull people over and check their credentials. We need to have system whereby once they catch you, we have the opportunity to have your fingerprints and everything in the database.
Gambia, the police, a crime committed, and the police will ask the victim to pay for the taxi.
It happened to me.
You to arrest the person, or I mean the victim or the perpetrator will be the one to. I mean,
it happened to me.
Right.
I used my own vehicle,
right,
transporting the suspect
yes,
from one station to another.
Right.
And imagine I was in Gambia on a holiday.
Right.
So I spent my whole holiday going to court back and forth.
Right.
I didn't even enjoy my holiday.
Interesting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of our law enforcement strategies, we need to work on it that way it can meet the standards of the international level.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point,
Mm-hmm.
we are behind.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, nobody is being held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, what I mean, nobody by
Mm-hmm.
making sure that every department, every head of department, I mean, you are promoted to be head of department for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You are there to oversee everything that's happening in your department. And honestly, sometimes we tend to blame the president because that's what we've known all our lives, right? In a president, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes they could because he cannot be at State House and overseeing other small departments across the country.
But at the end of the day, the buck lies in his hands because the buck stops at him because Momoy, the head of state, he's the one that was voted into and had the oversight function
to supervise everything.
Mm-hmm.
And another before we get to all whole stuff, another thing more, I mean, letting friendship get in his way.
Mm-hmm.
There was this incident that I looked at because, like I said, I've been in the shadows for so long. I've been monitoring, and I'm like, man, what are these people doing? But then I think it's time for people like me who have experience in things like this, like if there was a medical expert in some situation, and then they want to come out and try to manipulate the situation, this person should come out and say, use their expertise and say, hey, look, now this is not how it should work. And this way, we will put them a check at all times, because before they come out to make a statement, they will think about it. But nobody puts them a check.
Right.
So this incident I'm talking about, and this was actually this like something that everybody knew when somebody and a government official abused their government power, their office to commit adultery, right? So as a leader, you're supposed to make that person resign to show the next person that comes in.
About here?
Yeah.
Who are you talking
I forgot his name, and this man actually committed this adultery on someone who was married too.
Are you talking about the Birkama?
Yes.
Case?
And then something like that.
Today than ever.
Yes. So that's a political suicide on both sides. He doesn't know this. See, people understand.
Didn't care. They just let the report slide, right?
And this is a political suicide because I heard the man on a recording. He stated, "Man, of my like, I ain't like a bucket." And then now everybody heard that. But mom said of because any respectful man won't talk to a woman like that. But the way he did it, you could tell that this man, oh my God. And for so you know, kill for you. Saying they don't do none of that because they feel like now big man. So going back to what happened, the decision that Barrow should have made in this case, Moy, ask him to resign quietly. This way, when another person comes in, they will learn.
So to you, Dal, it comes back to the same thing. Teach them a lesson. Be proactive rather than reactive.
Yes, teach them a lesson. Think about it. If I come here and work, and I undermine your business, and you just let me slide because we're friends, are people who work with you ever going to work with you and respect you?
Not necessarily.
Exactly. Same thing comes to me. I've had incident where I've hired some people, my fellow Gambians. They came with the mindset of Kiki Gambia. I'm just going to show up anytime I like. I said, no, you're not going to do that with my business. You have 2 15-minute break and 1.5 hour. You know what I'm saying? Because, and then I've had some people who reach out and say, what am I doing? I'm like, no. When you come, I'll pay you. You're not helping me. This is a job. So because of this, everybody knows it about me. Now, psychologically speaking, when people don't get their way, what do they say in Gambia? How about affair? Because they're not getting their way.
Right.
So as a leader, I want Mr. Burr.
You should have authority.
You should have authority and balance it differently when this is my friend. Because if you're my friend or my family, don't put me in a situation where I would have to choose between you and my job.
So are you saying, in other words, that is it true to say that there's corruption in every level and sector of our government and our political dynamics?
The corruption part, yes, because corruption comes in different forms. A department not being structured, you are you leaving a door open for corruption, because if any structured department wouldn't even have the chance, would have a less probability of corruption being in that department.
Well, the person you are talking about here, Sirifo Sonko, that happens to be a junior staff that he was giving opportunities to travel and go places. So corruption, abuse of office, and all of those things.
That's part of corruption.
This is, I mean, at every level.
Yeah, that's part of corruption. Right? So yeah, the reason why I say it has all different forms, because when it comes to the money part, I'm not there. So, and I'm the kind of person, I want to make sure that whatever I say, it's not going to be I feel. Well, it's a great point that you mentioned, that abusing their power, and then the person letting them use this power, saying that, oh, I don't want to go UDP, I'm doing your. But you didn't tell him, you didn't tell that man who committed that incident to go and abuse his power. So that's how you hold people accountable. See, so I've had situations within my family, sir, that I guess when people come and try to emotionally blackmail, I'm focused on the facts. You shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. But the way they look at it is, I'm not your money. It's not your money.
Yes.
Because if you don't let them know,
interrogate it.
Yeah, it is what it is. You do this. If you do good, you get rewarded. If you do bad, you have to face the consequences, basically.
Right. Well, I mean, that's good. We move on to the next thing. On December 20th is when word came out. In fact, I was here in the office when somebody called me and said, we have information, rumors circulating that there is an attempted coup in Gambia.
Yes.
Same day, I contacted Ibrahim Sankare, the government spokesperson. I contacted Amiboyan Sisoko and asked them about the situation, since, I mean, of course, it involves the government. We don't just jump and put things out there. I didn't hear from Amiboyan, but the next morning, the 21st, Sankare sent a release, I guess, after several journalists reached out to him. And I will read what the government press release said. It says, the Gambia government statement on alleged coup plot by soldiers of the Gambia Armed Forces from Banjul, the Gambia. The Gambia government announces that based on intelligence reports that some soldiers of the Gambia Armed Forces were plotting to overthrow the democratically elected government of President Adama Barrow, the Gulf High Command, in a swift military operation conducted yesterday, arrested 4 soldiers linked to this alleged coup plot. The apprehended soldiers are currently helping the military police with their investigations. Meanwhile, the army is in pursuit of 3 more alleged accomplices. Investigations into this matter are continuing, and members of the public would be accordingly informed of any developments as the situation unfolds. Citizens, residents, and members of the Diplomatic Council Corps are urged to carry on with their normal activities as the situation is under total control and there is no need to panic. Signed, Ibrahim G. Sankare, the Gambia government spokesperson and presidential diaspora advisor. This was the first ever official